Greetings, I'm Parent, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Cthulhu Death May Die. This is a fantastic adventure game kind of set in that horror universe of Cthulhu. We're going to have to try to take on one of the old ones and hopefully survive. We'll see how it goes. It's a tough game, so it might not be all that easy. We're going to be playing with two investigators, and we're going to try to go through the first scenario you'd be gaining if you decide to ever back this or pick this game up. This game does come with different types of scenarios that all are not interconnected, but all have a great theme to them. Also, on top of that, it comes with different old ones that you have to face, and you can combine each of these to create your own unique experience every time you play this game. At the time of this recording, this game is on Kickstarter, so please go check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. Also, I would like to thank Colin over at the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is his copy of the game. I don't actually have the copy because he doesn't. I can always just borrow it when I want to, and I've always been wanting to do a playthrough of this ever since he and I both took on the huge giant Cthulhu that we got from the first Kickstarter. We're going to play through this adventure and see how it goes. Let's check out who we're going to be facing, what adventure we're going to be doing, and who are the investigators that are going to try to make it through. If you're excited to see Cthulhu Death May Die, then I need you to meet me at the table. The scenario we're going to be doing is Blasphemous Alchemy. This is Season 1, Episode 1. So if you don't want a lot of spoilers for this, this is the very first one in the season. And like I said, they are not really interconnected. You can play them however you want to. But I just want to show you what the very first one is that is part of the game. Not to mention, a lot of this is the cards and things are found in the rulebook based on this scenario. So hopefully, as spoiler-free as I can do, we're going to go through this playthrough. When you get that, you're going to get this box. It's going to have everything in it. You're going to need to set up this particular episode. Now we also have to pick an old one. And it wouldn't be Cthulhu Death May Die if we don't take on the man, myth, the legend himself. We're going to try to take down Cthulhu and see if we can do it. We're going to grab his stage cards, his miniatures, and everything that goes along with it. And now we're going to try to combine everything to get this story going. Here's the storyboard in all its glory. I have our Cthulhu stage cards right here. We also have the episode card and all the different monsters we're going to be taking on while we try to get through this adventure. The adventure we're going to be going on is this one right here, the Blasphemous Alchemy. Let's quick take a look at that card. It says right up here some neat flavor text. What's worse than a cultist? Cultists who set the place on fire. Another night and another darn ritual to summon an elder god. If we blow up their labs, we can cause a lot of trouble for whatever it is they are summoning. So it says right here, to disrupt the ritual, we have to destroy 4 of the 5 labs. Now, if we disrupt the ritual, that is going to be able to bring Cthulhu onto the map, and we're going to be able to try to take him down. If we don't disrupt the labs, he's still probably going to make it onto the board, but we actually can't damage him then. It also says right here, when the Elder One advances, place 1 fire token in each space that has a cultist and no fire. So there's going to be lots of fire. It's pretty awesome here. We're going to try to extinguish the fire, though. As one of our actions, we can choose to extinguish a fire. I can make a roll, and we'll just discuss that as we go through the playthrough, which allows us to remove 1 fire token in your space for each success. We can also try to destroy that lab equipment. We can make a roll against the lab in your space. This doesn't count as an attack, and each success deals 1 wound to the lab, and the lab has 4 or more wounds. You're able to destroy it and turn it over in the lab token to reveal what effect it has. And these are going to be the different lab tokens. There, of course, is more than what's probably supposed to be out on the board, or even exactly about that's supposed to be on the board. But remember, we only have to destroy 4. On the back of the card shows the exact layout of the map. There's 2 floors to this. There's like a main floor and either a basement or I guess you could say, an elevated floor. These are the different enemies we're going to be fighting. The fire vampire, Bayaki, and the cultists. And they're going to be out on the board in these specific areas. Not to mention, they've already started some fires, because why not? We have our starting space, which is going to be right over there. And these are going to be the different gates we're going to put down where different things are going to be summoned. Because no matter how many times you kill these guys, they just keep coming back. Speaking of the enemies, these are the ones that are going to come with Cthulhu, and this is the set that comes with the actual adventure itself. So we're going to have to be taking on these cultists. They have 2 hit points each. They are right here. They are all painted up fantastically. We have our Star Spawn, which is right here, an absolute masterpiece. If you're interested in any of these miniatures being painted for you, these were not painted by me. These are painted by a commissioned painter named Bill, and I will put his information in the description of this video if you're interested in getting your minis all painted up. Here's our Biaki. He is right here and ready ready to go. And the last thing we have are these fire vampires that look like this. These are what the fire vampires look. They look absolutely amazing and super cool. I can hardly wait to try to take one down. Now, of course, in order to take one down, you have to reduce their health to 0. And if they ever attack back, they're going to be using these dice that are down here. Not to mention each one of these has a special ability that we'll look at as we actually take them on in the game. And it wouldn't be Cthulhu Death May Die if we're not trying to take on Cthulhu. Here he is. He's right here. He's in all his glory. He is, again, all painted up and looks absolutely atrociously awesome. We're going to place him down here. Now, there is a little token here that is going to be moving along with him. I'm just going to place him on top of it. And as we move him down the board, he's going to get closer and closer to this red point. Once he gets to the red point, he spawns on the board, whether you have stopped a ritual or not. If you're ever able to stop it earlier, he just comes out on the board, and the token continues to move as we draw different cards that have its symbol to move him on, which are shown right here. If we ever have 3 of these in the discard pile, he's going to be moving up 1, and we're going to have to deal with whatever his power is when he starts moving up the board. It's usually on his card over here, and I'll show it in just a second. These are the 2 different decks of cards. One is for Cthulhu, and one is for the Blasphemous Alchemy. We're going to take both of these, give them a good old truffle shuffle, and put them down on the board. These are going to be our Mythos deck that we're going to be drawing from, and if you ever do draw 3 of those that move him, you'll be reshuffling that deck. Here's the first stage of our evil minion or monster here, and he's going to be, when he advances, whenever he advances down this track, we're going to be placing down a Ryla token on your space. That are these tokens right here, and if there's already a token there, we'll put it on the nearest space, and it doesn't have one. We're going to summon a cultist to each one of these spaces. Now, of course, the miniatures you have, I believe, are finite. You can never put more down than you actually have. You don't just grab other random miniatures. So if we ever have all the cultists on the board, we won't be putting them down, but hopefully we don't get that far. That'd be Bad News City. We're then going to move the star spawn 1 space towards you, and if it's not on the board, we'll summon it to the blue gate. And of course, here's our star spawn. We only have 1 of these, so we'll only be putting 1 down, and that's good because he has 7 health. He's out of control. And it says when we're attacking him on one of those spaces, we get to add 2 madness to the roll, which is bad because more madness you have, the more powerful you get, but the more powerful you get and the more madness you get, eventually you go insane and you lose the game. Another lose condition is if our token ever reaches this end point here. Of course, he wouldn't be on it at that point. If it ever reaches that point there, that is also the end of the game. I guess you could say the giant elder one is pretty much undefeatable at that point. And who are our lucky investigators? Why, one of them is going to be Rasputin. I figure if we're doing fire in the game, why don't we actually have a guy who's got fire coming out of his hands? That's probably going to be beneficial. He's got 2 skills here that are basically, you could say, part of a common pool of all the different investigators. You could see these amongst other ones, but every one of our investigators is going to have an absolutely unique ability, which is found up there. He's got unkillable. It says 1 free death. If you would die from a wound, instead return to life with full health. Here's our health track right here. If it ever goes to here, we get to power it back up, of course, with they have that. Now, as we become more and more insane, we're going to hit these red thresholds here. These are going to give us the ability to level up any of these particular skills by just moving this up and gaining those extra abilities. Of course, if we ever reach the top one, there's a giant skull there. Now, Rasputin cannot come back to life if he is fully insane. It only says if he ever dies from wounds, which would be down here. This is your stress. This is going to be used for multiple things in the game, but the main way is you're able to re-roll your rolls or re-roll the enemy's rolls on their turn to try to hopefully mitigate some of the badness that is happening, though it's awfully pretty tough to do. The 2 that he has that are from, I guess you could say, a common pool are Arcane Mastery. Whenever you roll any of the star symbols, they're going to be treated as a success for now. Of course, as we build these skills up, we might see them increase in power. The other one we have is Brawling. I get to gain a green die when attacking a target in our space. We'll also be able to gain green dice as we're going up this track. You're going to see little dice symbols. So the more insane you get, the more powerful you get, the more you're able to do damage to enemies, I guess you could say. So all that's Rasputin. Right here we also have our track that we're going to be using to show what we're going to be doing during our turn. We're able to take actions, draw Mythos cards, investigate or fight, and then resolve the end of the turn. We also have 2 spots on the side that say Discovery cards. Each story comes with a set of Discovery cards. They're right here. We're going to give these a good old truffle shuffle. And if you're ever in a safe spot at the end of your turn, when it goes to this part, the Investigator Fight step, you would draw one of those and you would resolve it. And it might, most of the time it's pretty good, but there might be a drawback to being able to take it into your either left or right area, depending on what part of the card you decide to do. That's Rasputin. Let's check out our other guy. Morgan's going to be coming with us as well. He's got swiftness and toughness. I'm able to run. You may move one additional space. That's going to be one of your actions you can take. One of them is run. You can move 3 spaces. He's able to move 4. Fantastic. The other one is toughness. You have 1 free reroll when you're attacked or rolling for fire, which might actually be pretty good in this one. I have to admit, I blindly took these guys, and after I saw that, I was like, oh, that's kind of actually might be pretty good. There's lots of fire on the board. The other one he has that nobody else has is Protector. If an investigator in your space is attacked, you may redirect the attack to you before you roll the dice. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be the greatest, because remember, he can actually come back to life if he takes all his damage, but after that resolves or has happened, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have him help us out. This is his miniature right here. He is all set to go. He kind of reminds me of Indiana Jones, which is one of the reasons I took him. I think he looks pretty awesome. He says, I've got a bad feeling about this. Well, we all got bad feelings about everything in this game, because you're playing Cthulhu Death May Die. All right, those are our investigators. We're going to move into the beginning of the game, so let's start out. Here's our upstairs room. We have one room right here that is on fire, and it has a stairwell. This is a 2-room area, but you can see these doors here. Those are going to be ways you can move through these different places. They even put the arrows there to help you realize how you can get from place to place. We have a cultist down here next to the red spawn gate. We've got one of these fire vampires up there, and then we have to place down 2 of these tiles. So I'm just going to give them a little truffle shuffle here so we don't know which one's which, and we're going to place them out on the board. We have to put 1 here and 1 here according to our card that we have right here. This is the layout for the very top part. Here's the bottom level, or the main floor I should say. We have our spawn gates here, our path up to the upper levels or lower levels, I guess you'd say, either way you want to think of it. We also have our fire tokens out on the board. There are 4 of them. We have our cultists. There are 4 of those, or 5 of those, I guess you could say, out on the board down here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's Bad News City. Tons of cultists. So like I said, here's the map. It shows you exactly what's supposed to be out there except for our labs. We've got them right here. We have to give these another little truffle shuffle. There's only 3 left, so we'll place them out here. We'll put 1 here. We'll put 1 way back there in that room, and then we'll put 1 here with, I guess this one, the one that had the cultist in the wrong spot. There we go. Just make sure our map is perfect. I think our map is perfect. I think we're ready to start, except for a few more things we have to do. The first thing is we have to decide who is our first player, and then we have to give each one of them one of these Arkham Sanitarium patient medical files. These are not good. To determine our first player, we're just going to roll this die. The reason we're going to do that is because 3 of the symbols have an exclamation point on them, and 3 of them don't. If I get an exclamation point, it will be Rasputin. If I don't, the other guy will go first. So Rasputin is going to be our first player. He is going to draw the first card from our files here. Give him again a good old truffle shuffle, and we'll draw the top one. He has, what is this? He has masochicism. I can barely even say it. It says, each time you take wounds, put the same number of wound tokens on this card. And right down here, it shows a symbol of the madness track. So whenever we hit that, we have to deal with this card. It says, if there are no tokens on this card, take 1 wound. Otherwise, remove all tokens from this card and heal 1 stress per token removed. So that's actually might not be that bad. So we'll put this down at the bottom here for him, and we'll get 1 for Morgan. Again, give him a good old little truffle shuffle here. Hopefully he gets one that's not too bad. He got this one. It says reoccurring trauma. That sounds pretty good. That was not very sarcastic. I should try better at sarcasm. Keep the last Mythos card any player drew with no summoning symbol near this card until they are shuffled. If there's a Mythos card near this card, play it as if you had just drawn it. Otherwise, heal all your stress. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That one's pretty bad. So from what I understand, as long as we keep drawing the one that moves the person, that's fantastic. But if we get one and we don't get to move it, we have to put that next to this card. And then whenever we hit one of these, we're going to have to play it as if we just drew it. Oh boy. Oh, but one thing is, if we do have to shuffle them, it looks like we shuffle that back into the deck. So hopefully that will help us out. If there's no cards there, again, it'll be good. And as we said, Rasputin gets to go first. He gets to take 3 actions. He can run, which allows him to move 3 spaces. He can attack 1 enemy. He can rest, as long as he's in a safe space, meaning there's no enemies there. He can heal 3 stress or health, divide it up however well we want it. Or we can trade. Trade allows you to be able to move items or companions around to either character. It's just not him trading to Morgan. Morgan could also be trading back during that 1 trade action. And we could also be doing an episode action. For example, we can attempt to try to destroy that equipment, or we can try to extinguish the fire. Let's see what we're going to do with him. Well, Rasputin has Brawler, so I think our best bet is for our first action, we're going to move into this room. Then, for our second action, we're going to brawl these guys. That means I do have to attack them one at a time. I can't just hit this whole entire square, but if you, as we see as we power him up, maybe something like that might happen inside of his skills. To make an attack, you're going to make a roll is what they call it, and I'm going to be using 3 dice. So you always get these 3 dice when you make a roll. The dice are consisted of a success with potentially madness, then we also have a blank, we also have another success, just straight madness, and the last one is this elder sign type symbol. The elder signs are only used if you actually have a power that uses it, and Rasputin does. It's called Arcane Mastery. When making a roll, I can count one of these as a success. Now on top of these black dice, you're able to add as many green dice as your character has the ability to do. For example, Rasputin does have Brawling, so he does get 1 extra green die when making a roll or attacking a target in my space. So I'm going to attack one of those cultists. Let's roll it up and see how we do. We got 2 madness and 1 elder sign. Well, the problem is these elder signs are going to be able to give me 1 success, but I need 2 to take out these cultists. These cultists have a health value of 2. So right now it's still on the board. I don't want it on the board. The way we can re-roll these dice is by using our stress. So remember we have 5 stress. I'm going to use 1 stress to re-roll this die. Because I like madness, it's okay. This sanity, I should call it. It's not a bad thing, but I don't want tons of it. I got another elder sign. That's not going to help us at all. Remember, only one of those is going to help us. So I'm going to use another stress. You're allowed to use as much stress as you want. I'm using it one at a time until you run out of it, I guess you could say. Then you're pretty much out of luck. Let's roll it up again. I got another madness symbol. This is out of control. I'm going to roll again. Oh my gosh, look at all these elder signs and madness things. Oh! I've gotten 4 elder signs. I am on my last bet of, what do you call it? I have no more stress. This is the last one. This has to turn into a success. Oh my goodness, finally a success. So I've got 2 successes. I was able to take out 1 cultist with absolutely all of my stress. Now I get to roll again because I'm going to do another attack as my 3rd action against the other cultist that is in our square. Let's see how it goes. I got 2 successes this time. Thank goodness, because I didn't have any way to re-roll these dice. So this cultist is also dead. Now, if he would have ever needed to attack me, this cultist would roll 2 green dice and I would have to deal with the consequences. I also got one of these symbols, so we have to move up our track. The madness is going to move our sanity up 1. If we ever get to here, we'll stop. Now, if you say you're here and you get, let's say, 7 madness, you don't keep going. You stop as soon as you hit the first red on the number of madness you get. Now, look at this. All of our stress is used. In order to get that stress back, I have to find a way to either heal it or potentially rest at some point. Our turn is over for Rasputin, so we're going to draw a Mythos card. After each character's turn, we'll draw one of these and see what we have. We have Astral Promise. Move the nearest cultist to your space and choose 1. Add a Riley token to your space. If there's already one there, add it to the nearest space without 1. Or lose 2 sanity. I think I'll lose 2 sanity, 1, 2, that's totally fine. We just still have to, and you do have to do these in order down the column here, so I'd have to move the thing, then and abide by everything that happens. Move a cultist, nearest cultist to your space, and then choose 1. So I do have to do that part. The nearest cultist is, of course, this guy. He's going to walk right into our square. And this card right here is going to make me keep Astral Promise next to it because it does say keep the last Mythos card any player drew with no spawn symbol near this card until they are shuffled. At this point, we will be doing either an investigate or a fight. If this room was safe, meaning there are no enemies in it, we would be investigating. Sadly, that's not the case. There's a bad guy there, so we are going to fight. So this cultist is going to attack us with some dice. Our cultist card shows 2 green dice. We'll roll them up and see what we get. We got 1 success, meaning I am going to take 1 damage. If he would have had a power that used that elder sign, then we would have done it, but it doesn't have anything. It just says these cultists unleash the power of Ryla. So we'll just take the 1 damage. 1's not too bad. Maybe we can heal it back later. At this point, it's Morgan's turn. He's going to be a little tricky here. He is going to do his run action. Now, his run action, he does get +1 to his speed because he has swiftness. So he's going to move 1 to here. Then he's going to move 1 to here. Then we're going to go here, 3. And finally, 4 over to there. Now notice I ran past this person. I don't have the stealth skill, meaning I could have avoided him. So instead, he's going to follow me all the way over to here. He's going to kind of, as soon as I move here, and then I move here, he starts following me and keeps on coming until I stop. So I'm in a room with 2 of these. Also, I move through a room with fire. If you move through a room, not ending your turn in a room, moving through, you're going to put a fire token from the token pool onto your character card, and you're going to have to deal with it at the resolve end of turn action steps. That's my first action. My second action is I'm going to try to beat up one of these guys again. I'll make a roll with just my 3 black dice because I don't have any extra powers for him. So roll up, see what we get. We only got 1 success. So I'm going to put 1 health token on one of these guys. Now I do have the ability to re-roll, and I think we will. I'll use 1 stress to re-roll these blanks. These blanks aren't any good. Hopefully get another success. Now we don't have to worry about them. We'll just take the cultist off the board. He is dead. We have another cultist in there. So for my third action, I'm going to take these dice and try to take that guy out. We got 2 again, and we got 1 madness symbol. That's totally fine. We're able to take him out. Oh, that was awesome. Morgan's going to gain or lose 1 sanity, I should say, from the madness. At this point, I will now draw my Mythos card and see what I got. Star Spawn. If the Star Spawn is on the board, each investigator in its space loses 2 sanity. Then it moves 2 spaces towards you. Yuck. Or summon the Star Spawn on the blue summoning portal. The blue portal is right here, so he takes up the whole room. Look at that guy. And he's got 7 health that we have to take out. And if I attack him in a place where there's a Ryla token, I'm going to have to add 2 madness to my roll. Well, good news, we don't have any of those on the board yet. This card, though, does have one of these symbols on it, so it goes in the discard pile, but if I ever draw 2 more of these, that means we'll shuffle this up and we'll move Cthulhu 1 spot down the board. Now back to where I am in a safe room. There is no enemies there, so I get to draw a discovery card and see what happens. We found the janitor. Did Jerome make it? If you have a guilty conscience, take 1 stress. I do not have what is called a guilty conscience. If you may take 2 stress to claim the janitor. It means he would become a companion, and I would put my player board on this side. And while you have him, gain 1 level of toughness. Oh my goodness, I actually have that skill. So that means I'd gain a level in toughness. If you do not have the skill, when it comes to this point, you would just gain the level 1 toughness. And to remind yourself that you have it, you would just put this token next to your character to know you have it. Now, if this guy ever takes this point of damage, then you would lose this token, or in my case, I would lose the 1 point of toughness on my leveling sheet that I have. Otherwise, I can take 1 stress to claim ammonia. You may discard this card and the bleach card to deal 6 wounds to all figures either in your space, including you, or all adjacent spaces. Oh, what's the chances of finding bleach? I don't know. I'm going to take 2 stress and then claim the janitor. To signify this, we're going to place this card over inside underneath the board, if I can ever get underneath the board. There we go, just like that. And we're going to take 2 stress. We're almost out of stress on this character as well. With the 1 health from Ralph the janitor here, if I ever took like 3 damage, I could choose to take 2 and then I could give him the extra 1 and then I would die. Or he would die and he would go away. Now I do get that level of toughness, so I get to move this up. It says here, instead, you may reduce the wound taken and lose 1 sanity by 1 when attacked by a rolling or fire. That's not too bad. So see how this is just going to keep getting better and better. Now we have to resolve our end of turn. Remember, we have a fire token. To resolve the fire token, we're just going to roll 1 black die for every fire token we have, and we're going to have to deal with the consequences. We got a star symbol. The star symbol for the fire token is nothing. Nothing happens. If we were to get a success, we would take 1 damage, and if we were to get a madness, we would, of course, suffer 1 sanity. Now that you've rolled the die, we are going to discard this from our character card, but the ones on the board, of course, are still going to remain there. We'll move into Rasputin's turn. He forgot to put the token down here for his Masocism card. Each time you take wounds, put the same number of wound tokens on this card. So we had to put 1 there. At this point, I'm going to do a rest action to get 1, 2, 3 of these sanity back stress back, because I need those rerolls at this point. Next, I'm going to move 1, 2 to right here. I'm going to be gaining a fire token that we're going to place on our character board, and then we're going to try for a third action to take this guy out. And then maybe the next turn we can at least, both of us should be able to take out 1 of these and see if anything good happens when we take these out. Who knows? Blowing up a bunch of laboratories is probably not the best plan. He'll make a roll using his 3 dice and his 1 green die from his brawling. Let's see if he gets his 2 success. Oh, he got an absolutely monstrous amount of success. He got 4. That's fantastic. That thing's dead. That's his 3 actions. Let's draw our Mythos card and hope that this thing does not move or we're going to be in a world of hurt. It says here, lab accident. Each figure in a space with an undestroyed lab takes 1 wound. Also, each investigator with a guilty conscience takes 2 stress. For each stress they cannot take, they take a wound instead. Oh, barf. All right, and that's our second red card like that. So if we get 1 more, it's going to move. Both of us, of course, are on one of these, so we're going to take a damage. What a horrible time to be next to lab equipment. Apparently somebody forgot to turn off the Bunsen burner. We're going to move our damage up 1. And because of that, I am going to take another wound on my card here. It says each time you take a wound, it doesn't necessarily mean from combat. It just means take a wound. So every time I take one, I'm going to have to put 1 there too. Morgan, sadly, is also going to take 1 wound. Rasputin does have 1 fire token. We'll roll, see what happens there. Oh my gosh, he got absolutely blown to pieces by it. Rasputin is flirting very close to death here, but he is going to gain 1 more madness, which is going to put him up to there. I'm going to then be able to increase one of these skills by 1. I'm going to choose brawling. I'm going to bring it up by 1. I think that'll be great. On top of that, now I have to put another one of these tokens down here. We've taken more wounds. Put another one here. At this point, we're going to have to deal with this card here because we have reached the top, or reached our first threshold here. Let's see what the card says. Our card does say if there are no tokens on this card, take 1 wound. Otherwise, remove all tokens from this card and heal 1 stress per token removed. So I'm going to heal 1 stress because I had 3 there. So sadly here, I wish I wouldn't have actually made that rest action to get my 3 stress back because I've got it back from this. But how would I have known that? You never do. Having rolled for this fire token, we will place it back into our pool. It's now Morgan's turn, and he's going to take out that lab equipment. We got to get rid of this stuff. So he's going to do the special action for this scenario. He gets to make a roll to try to deal with it. He only gets these 3 dice, so he's not going to be able to take it out in 1 shot, but he did do 2 successes, meaning we will deal the lab equipment 2 wounds. We'll place them right here. For my second action, I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to try to take this lab equipment out. We got 1 with a madness. I'm going to use my last point of stress to re-roll one of these dice, hopefully getting a success on it. We got the success we needed, so that's all 4. We were able to take out that lab equipment. We now flip over this token and resolve what it says. It says, safe collapse, heal all your stress. Oh, that's super good. That was absolutely bonkers amazing. We got all of our stress back. I do have to move that down 1 because we did roll 1 madness on the die. He has 1 action left, and I was thinking about resting, but I don't need to anymore. Look, I got all my stress back. Instead, we're going to do a run action or a move action here. We're going to move 1, then we're going to take this little staircase up here to 2, and we're going to go to here to 3, and we're going to stop right there. I did leave 2 spaces with fire, so I will gain 2 fire tokens and place them on my character card, and we'll draw our next Mythos card and see what happens. We've got, oh no, move the star, spawn 2 spaces towards you. Then each investigator in its space loses 1 sanity, and then summon the star spawn to red. Well, it's not going to happen because it's already on the board. But the good news is this is going to move towards him. So he's going to move into this corridor here and then up here. So he's not actually in our square, which is half the battle, but oh my goodness, Morgan's in trouble. He's surrounded by 2 pretty powerful guys. And also I have to move Cthulhu because that is now our 3rd card like this. We'll move him 1 space this way, and we're going to have to do when Cthulhu advances. It says right here on the card, I'm going to put a token on my space. If there's already a token there, put it in the nearest space that doesn't have one, and then I'm going to summon a cultist to each one of those spaces, and I'm going to move the star spawn 1 space towards you. So if things didn't get bad, they just got worse instead. Good news, bad news. The good news is that doesn't happen until the end of the turn, resolving turns. That is when we check the Mythos discard pile. I got a little excited that I actually had all 3 of these here and I was going to have all this stuff happen. But we're going to be doing this at the end of the turn effect step. So we actually do get to do, now that we've drawn the Mythos card and we've resolved it, which was pretty much just moving that guy to there, we're able to see if we're able to fight or investigate. And since there's nothing in our square, we do actually get to investigate, which is kind of cool. We have found this. It says medical supply. Oh, I'm totally going to need these medical supplies in just a little while. It says here, has to be something useful here. You may claim the medicine. That's fantastic. Discard this card to heal all wounds from one investigator in your space, including you. That's amazing. I totally want that because I am going to need it because we already know the outcome of what's about to happen. Now that that has happened, we come to the end of we come to resolve the end of turns effect. The first thing we're going to do is the fire. So I'm going to roll those, but before we do, this is the next step we would do is place all these things down. So I'm going to put one of those tokens here along with a cultist. Along with this guy, he's going to walk right in as well and try to eat me for lunch. No good news. But now, before that would have taken place, I should roll these. So we'll go take a look at what those are. After we roll those, we are going to take all of these and put them back in the discard pile. But I do have to do that after I roll them, because if I actually do trigger my madness or my sanity problem, I'm going to have to deal with this card because it has yet to be mixed back into our Mythos deck. We have to roll our 2 dice for those fire tokens. Let's see what we got. We do have 1 damage. So we're going to take the 1 damage from fire, and then we're going to discard those 2 tokens. And by taking 1 damage, I mean absolutely not, because I've got this ability here. Instead, you may reduce wounds taken and loss of sanity by 1 when rolling for attacks or fire. And I have that power right now, so we are going to take no damage from the fire. And now, of course, all of this joy happens. We put down the token and this guy and everything. And at this point, I am going to shuffle the discarded cards, which I believe then means I shuffle back in my Astral Promise as well. So we have no cards next to our reoccurring trauma. And we're going to give the deck a good old truffle shuffle here, so it's all set for when we go into our next turn, which would be Rasputin. Rasputin with his flaming hands of death is wondering why there's nobody to kill. So he's going to just blow this desk up. So I get to make a roll when trying to take this out. This is specifically telling me it is not an attack. So I do not get to use my brawling from how I understand it. So I'm going to roll up all 3 of these dice and hopefully try to take out that lab equipment. We got 2 successes. Remember, that is a success. And we got 1 madness here. I think I will take it. That sounds fantastic. We've done 2 damage and I'm going to gain 1 madness. We'll do our second action to try to take out that lab equipment again. We got 1 success and 1 madness. I am going to use my stress to try to get this madness die into a success. Let's see how we do. Nope, I got... He is like the master of stars. I need to make his arcane ability mastery so much better because I think in theory these all become them. I'm going to do another stress to roll the die again. Nothing. I'm going to roll take another stress to roll the die again. Let's see how we do. Oh my goodness, we got stars everywhere. I'm going to roll this die instead. Let's see how that goes. There we go. There's our success. Now we've got 2 successes. I again have used all of my stress and gained 1 madness from that first roll. We were able to destroy the lab equipment. Let's see what happens. We have found a major explosion dealing 2 wounds to all enemies in this, and all adjacent spaces. I would have been so much better up in the other part. It would have blown so many people up. But instead, it does absolutely nothing. Well, good news, it didn't do anything to him, which is half the battle. At this point, I think he is going to do a rest action. He'd use 2 to try to destroy this. I'm going to gain back 1, 2, I think I'm going to gain back 1, 2 stress and 1 health. I lied. I'm going to take 1 stress and 1, 2 health. I like having more health, at least then I don't die. He is in a safe spot, so he gets to draw another discovery, and we have taken out 2 of the 4 lab equipments we need to stop the ritual. Let's see what our card says. It is cages. This cage contains a 1-handed lab monkey. It looks at you cunningly. If you have guilty conscience, take 1 stress. You may claim the lab monkey or heal all your stress and claim the guilty conscience. I can rest. There's nothing around me. I'm not too worried about it. Let's grab a monkey. 1-handed. Discard this card to give give 1 of your items to an investigator. Anyway, that's not bad. Or I could just heal all of my stress and I would have guilty conscience condition on this side. But we're going to take this one. We're going to slide it right underneath there, and we are now with a monkey. Rasputin is going to draw a Mythos card, and I sure actually hope he draws one that moves this monster. Yes, he got one that moves the monster. I know it sounds really weird, but I just don't want him to be the one that gives trauma, because I have a feeling I'm about to break a threshold on Morgan next turn. This one says each cultist currently on a Ryla space moves 2 space towards you. Interesting. And then I summon one on the blue and yellow spots down here. So I'm going to summon one here and one here. And then interestingly enough, the one up on top here is going to move 1, 2 to right there. Interesting. I only have to take care of the star spawn. Like that's an only. I don't know how I'm going to do that. He's got 7 health and I've got no way to punch him. This card will then go in the discard pile. And when we do get 3, we're going to move that Cthulhu again. At the end of turn, there isn't anything to resolve. He doesn't have any fire tokens on him. Morgan could stand right in that square and start punching this star spawn if he wished to, but because he's in a square with that token, I'm going to be gaining 2 madness every time I do it. So I'm going to move first. I'm going to pull him 1 square over to here. That way when I attack him, I'm not in that square. Now, of course, that's one of my actions, and I am leaving a square with fire, and sadly, I am also leaving a square that has a lab equipment in it, which is our goal, to destroy these lab equipment. But right now, my goal is to take this thing out. I don't really know how we're going to do it because I can only ever roll 3 dice with him. I don't have any type of weapons yet to use against him. Our first attack against the star spawn is hopefully going to be pretty good. We got 2 madness symbols and a blank. We're going to reroll that blank because blanks are never good. I don't like blanks. Hopefully this turns into something real good. A star symbol does not help me. I'll use another stress to re-roll that die, and it turns into another madness. I don't like all that madness. I'm going to use another, or should I just keep the madness? No, I'm going to use another one to get rid of one of these madness things. Come on, I need more successes. All right, another success. All right, we now have 1, 2 successes and 2 madness. I think that's going to be pretty good because I've got an awesome plan. It's going to be absolutely bonkers good. Well, maybe it's not going to be good, but it's a little bit better than bad. I'm going to put 2 markers out here on him to show that I've done 2 damage. Normally you'd put them next to the monster, but he's the only one of them. And there's only one thing at the board, so I just keep it right on the card for him. Now here was my trick. I'm going to gain that 2 madness, and then this is going to fire off. This says if there are more Mythos cards near the end on this card, play it as if it had just been drawn. Otherwise, heal all of your stress. Since there's no cards left up there, I'm going to heal all my stress. That's why I was doing all those rerolls. I had a neat little trick. I also get to power something up. Sadly, I do not have any attacking abilities, but if I heal this up, I can have 1 free run action. It probably can be anywhere on the board, but I think we are going to keep powering up toughness. I think I'm going to be standing toe-to-toe with this thing, and probably being able to be as tough as I can is going to be the best plan here. This does now, you may reduce wounds taken and lost of 1 sanity by 1 from any source, which could be pretty good. We'll now make our second attack on the Cthulhu monster and see what we do. 2 successes and a madness. That's fantastic. I'm going to use one of my stress to reroll the madness die. Hopefully we can get another success. On the deal, we got 3. That's fantastic. So we've now done a total of 5 damage to him. Sadly, that's not quite enough to take him down, but that's a really, really good start. We're going to go to the end step now, which means, oh, no, we don't. We have to go to the mythos step. So we're going to draw our next card and see what we found. Each investigator in a space here loses 1 sanity. None of us are standing in any of those spaces, which is fantastic. So that card is done. At this point, we now have to investigate or fight. We are going to be fighting, and we're going to have to roll 3 black dice because that's how the star spawn attacks. Let's see what he does to me. He does 2 hits. I could choose to either re-roll one of those, or I could instead just reduce the wounds taken by one of those, and I think I will. I'm just going to reduce the wounds by 1, meaning I have taken 1. Oh, you know what I could do? I can use sanity to re-roll these dice. I'm going to reuse 1 sanity, hopefully re-roll this to nothing. Oh, it's still a success. I could do another sanity again. If I do that, then I might not have any sanity to attack him back, and I'm only taking 1 damage. I think that's okay. That means Morgan has taken 1 more damage, and now I have to roll for the fire token that we have there. Oh, we got a blank. That's awesome. Rasputin is going to do something rather rash. He's going to move 1, 2, and then he's going to go up these stairs. And in doing so, he's going to grab all these cultists, and they're all going to follow him. And that's going to put everybody in this room. Look at all these guys in this room. But that's okay. I've got a plan. My next two actions, I'm going to use my brawling ability, and right now it's powered up to the point where I get 1 extra green die, and on top of that, when you attack, you may target any number of figures in your space and split the wounds as you like. So I'm going to target everybody, and if we can get enough successes, we can maybe take out a couple cultists and that star spawn. And look at this, I got 1, 2, 3 successes already. I'm going to re-roll this one right here with one of my sanity. It's my last sanity I have, but hopefully it's a success. Oh, I got a blank, but I did do 3 damage, which is going to be enough to do 2 damage to take out one of these cultists, and I'm going to place another damage onto the star spawn. My second action now, or my third one, I mean, I get to roll all these dice again, and wow, look, I got 4 stars. I need to power up my arcane mastery. Are you kidding me? 4 stars? That's absolutely bonkers amazing. Well, it is still 1, so I'm going to drop it onto the star spawn. And right now he has 3, 4, 5, 6, so he's going to get his 7th one, and we've taken the star spawn out. That doesn't mean he's dead. He could come back again, but for now he is not on the board. We now have to draw a Mythos card and see what happens. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, it's going to move. It says each cultist moves 1 space towards you. If you're in a space with one of those tokens, you're going to lose 1 sanity, not there. We're going to summon a cultist to the red space, and we're going to summon one back down on the lower level in the yellow space. I am not in a safe spot. I am in a spot that has cultists, so both of those cultists are going to attack me. The first cultist is going to attack Rasputin, and it's a success. I'm going to take 1 wound, and I'm going to place 1 token down on my Masticism card. The next one is going to attack Rasputin again, but at this point, I am going to use my Protector ability for Morgan. It says, if an investigator in your space is attacked, you may redirect the attack to you before the roll. So let's see what happens. Let's roll them up, and I got 1 success, so I was hit for 1. I have my toughness, so it says instead you may reduce the wound token or sanity loss by 1 from any source. I'm going to choose that source right there. We are now going to move this guy down 1. I'm going to put out another token, and I'm going to spawn a Cthulhu on that, a cultist on that token. The other thing I'm going to do is I do have to put the star spawn back on the board. And according to the card, it's going to go right here on the blue spawn space. Or I should say gate, not spawn space. Morgan now is in a space with 3 cultists. He's going to try to take out as many as he can. We're going to start punching. Let's see how we do. I got a total of 1, 2 successes and a madness symbol. I'm going to use, well, it's enough. I can only target these. I don't have the brawling ability. So 2 successes is enough to take out one of the cultists, and my insanity goes up by 1. That's all that's going to happen there. Let's attack another cultist. My second action. I got 2 madness. That's fine. I'll take the 2 madness. I did not kill one of the cultists. That makes me sad. And for my third action here, we're going to, nope, I lied. With those 2 madness and the actual, the blank one, I am going to start re-rolling these because we're getting close to the madness track that I might be able to. I don't have any cards on me, so I could. Maybe I'm going to re-roll this with my stress. Hopefully I can get enough successes now. We got 1. I'm going to roll the other one with a success too. Actually, I think I'm going to keep that madness. I'm going to re-roll the blank and see how we do. Oh, this was already a madness. So we got 2 madness and a success. Ah, that's no good. I'm going to take the 2 madness, and I'm going to do 1 damage to one of the cultists. For our third action, we're going to punch those. I'm going to punch. Ooh, do I punch the same one I was just attacking? Yes, let's just make sure that one dies. And that one did not die, and I don't have any stress that's going to be able to re-roll any of those dice, and he does not have Arcane Mastery, so he did nothing. So there's a cultist with 1 health, and there's a cultist with 2 health. I'm going to raise my madness by 1, or I should say insanity by 1. So good news, bad news, this goes up here. This is going to fire off. There's no cards there, so this is going to drop my stress back down. I am going to grab my toughness again and move it up 1 more space. I have to draw a Mythos card, but before I do, I forgot I need to shuffle these 3 back in because you always start with a fresh Mythos deck. So we're going to give this a good old truffle shuffle here, and we'll draw the top card, see what we get. We have got, no, he's going to start moving again. Not right now, but move the Elder one and each monster 1 space toward the undestroyed lab closest to each of them. Summon a cultist on each damaged lab, then remove 1 wound from each lab in a space of the cultist. So we have to move the Elder one and each monster 1 space toward the undestroyed lab closest to each of them. There is 1 right here, so he's going to move into this space right there. And notice the card does say Elder One and Monster. Cultists are not considered monsters. And if it ever was just a monster, the Elder One is not considered a monster either. So it's just, I just have to abide by the Elder One and Monster for this top part. But you better believe the star spawn's a monster, so he's going to move that way, and the Byakhee is going to move towards that one. Now that that's done, they've all moved one space toward the undestroyed lab closest to each of them. We're summoning a cultist on each damage lab. There are no damage lab. We've been taking them out. Then remove one wound from each lab with the cultist. There, it's not going to happen. So just that one part happened, which is pretty good. I am not in a safe spot, so I am going to get attacked by both of those cultists. They get to roll 2 dice at me. That's fine. They got 2 successes. I'm going to wash that off like it's nothing because I have the ability to reduce wound taken by 2 and loss of sanity by 1 from any source. So I'm going to choose that source. It's not going to do me any damage. And this one is going to do me 2 damage. I'm going to choose that source and it's not going to do me any damage. These cultists have got nothing on me. There's no fire damage that I have to worry about because we're standing in the space with it. We haven't moved out of it yet. So Rasputin is going to go. He's going to just punch all those guys in that square. With his Brawler ability, he gets an extra green die. We'll roll this up, and I get to spread these out however I want. I got 2 successes. I don't have any sanity yet, so I can't re-roll the dice. So I'm just going to kill the one that has no damage. For my second one action, I am going to attack again and see how we do. I got 1 success and 1 madness, which is absolutely hilarious because he keeps getting these star successes. That's going to be enough to take out the other one that's on the board as well. So he is also dead, and I have taken no damage from them. I'm going to rest now, I think. You can only rest in a safe spot, and he is in a safe spot right now. So I am going to heal 2 health and 1 sanity, bringing my sanity to I have 1 sanity I can use. I actually have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 sanity, but I do have all of my health. So with our tracks where they are, we'll move into the Draw a Mythos card and see what we have found. We have found Crawling Chaos. Each cultist moves 1 space towards you, and if you're in a space with, you're in a Rylus space, lose 1 sanity. So he is going to lose 1 sanity because he's in a space with that token, and I'm going to summon 1 in red and 1 in yellow. So at this rate, we are never going to be able to leave this room because they're going to come running back into this room. It does say each cultist moves 1 space towards you. There's also one on the main floor that is coming up through the green stairs that is also going to move next to him. So that's fantastic. That's during the Mythos phase, so that's why they moved in. Then I'm going to summon cultists in red and yellow. So we'll put 1 in the yellow, which is on the basement or the main floor, but the red one is right there. With the Mythos phase done, we can either investigate or we can fight. We have to fight because these guys are going to attack us. So we have 3 cultists attacking us, and you'll never guess what's about to happen. You're right! I'm going to have Morgan go ahead and redirect all that attacks right to him. The first cultist is going to roll. He does nothing because 2 successes, I can stop 2 damage. And I'm going to roll again. Those are nothing. And my third and final roll is 1 damage, which I'm going to use my toughness, so it does nothing. Wow, these guys work fantastic together. We're moving into Morgan's turn. Morgan's got 3 of those guys in his square, so he is just going to start punching them because we have to kill these guys in order to move on in life. Or I could potentially move and take them with me and start work on the final, laboratory equipment. Remember, we have to take out 4 of these laboratories equipment, and so far we've only done 2. So I was hoping to get these 2 done, so why don't I move Morgan down here? All these cultists are going to come with me, and honestly, those cultists really can't do much to me. So I'm going to take out this equipment right here. This specifically says it's not an attack, so I get my 3 dice, but I do get the green one because the green one is one I got from my sanity track. It's not part of being in a part of an attack action. So I'm going to roll all these. I need to get 4 successes. I got 2, which isn't bad. I think I'm okay with that. For my third and final action, I will roll again and see how we do. We got 2 and a madness symbol, so we were able to take out the next piece of equipment here, and let's see what it does. I've got turn it over here. What does that say here? It says major explosion. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so that was super, super lucky. Let's go check out this. I have to be the luckiest player on the planet. A major explosion deals 2 wounds to all enemies in and adjacent spaces. So it just killed every single one of these cultists because they all have 2 health. They all have 2 health. And this guy's going to take 2 wounds. He has more than 2 health. He's got 4. So he's not dead. But he's half hurt. I'm pretty excited about this. Oh my gosh, that couldn't have gone any better. Okay, we'll put those 2 right there. This thing is off the board. And I believe that's it. We're done with that. We're going to draw a Mythos card and see what happens. We have, oh, he's going to move again. Each investigator in one of these spaces loses 1 sanity. That's him. He's going to lose 1, which means he is going to hit his next threshold, and we'll deal with that in just a second. It also says, that's it. That's all that's part of this card, but I do have to shuffle the deck and deal with the moving of him in just a second. First, we're going to deal with Rasputin. Rasputin first has to deal with this card, which I set up perfectly. It says remove the token and heal all stress for each token moved. So I'm removing 1 token, so I get to gain back 1 stress. Then I'm going to learn Arcane Mastery, because I'm sick of rolling those stars and nothing, only get 1 things for it. Now we have the ability that says, instead, you may count any number of 6 stars as successes. That'll be really helpful to us for how many of those we rolled. I also hit my next green dice, so when we attack, we're going to be getting 2 green dice along with those 3 other dice when we do our brawler. For the first time in a long time, I'm in a safe spot, so I get to draw a discovery, and I have to gain a fire token from moving out of the square with the fire token in it. Let's see what a discovery says. Furious student. He can't hurt me anymore. I have a gun. Ooh, can I have a gun? It says here, you may take 1 wound to claim either the Furious Student or the pistol. Oh, I can get the pistol. Let's see, the Furious Student. You cannot have Chester and the Professor as companions. Discard 1. Oh, this guy gives me 3 wounds. I can just load up on wounds here. I got 4 of them. Or I can take 1 wound, and it says when attacking, gain 1 star. If you have the marksman skill, I get to gain another green die. I think I'm going to take the pistol because he doesn't actually get any cool abilities to attack with. So just being able to gain some extra green dice might be good. And with his defend toughness ability, I think he's able to hold off on a lot of those people being able to attack him. So we're going to take that. That's our second item for him. That's pretty awesome. That's the end there. We're going to go to resolve our end of turn effects, which means I have to deal with fire. And fire is really not going to do anything to me. It does nothing. If I had more than 1 fire token, something could have happened. But anything on this die with my toughness ability can block because it's from any source. I now have to give our deck a good old truffle shuffle here so that we're all set for the next turn, which is going to be Rasputin. Let's see what he can do. For his first action, he is going to move into here and take that guy out with his second action. With Brawling, I get a green die, and I get a green die from my sanity track. So we'll roll these up and see how we do. I didn't get a single star. Even though I just powered up all my stars. So I've got 3 successes. That's going to be more than enough to take out our character here. He only has 4 health. It does say when it attacks, place 1 fire token on this space. It did not attack yet, so thank goodness. He's just going to be super dead. We'll remove him from the board. I am going to take 2 madness here. We'll move this track up 2. For my second action, we're going to try to take out that lab equipment and see how we do here. We got 2 successes and 1 madness. So we'll place 2 wounds on that lab equipment. And at this point, I think I'm in a safe room. I'm going to rest with my third action. And looking at this, I have no reason to rest, but I do have to move that up 1 space. Let's go actually take out this thing. I thought I had taken more health than I had. We're going to beat this last piece of lab equipment up. Let's roll our dice and see what we get. We got 2 and 2 madness. I could use 1. Well, no, I'm going to have to use both of them to get rid of the madness. He's going to hit his next threshold, and that's going to be okay. And we were able to take out that next piece of lab equipment. Let's see what happens to our characters here. It says, what's this? Inferno. Place a fire token in this space and each adjacent space. Oh, barf. There's a lot of fire out on the board, and I have to give one of these tokens to Rasputin because he moved out of that square. Oh, I think I have an extra token here. Now, good news, I could clear some of this fire if I wanted to with my ability, with one of the actions on the scenario itself. I can extinguish fire, just removing tired fire tokens equal to the amount of successes I get. That's his turn. We'll draw a Mythos card and see what we got here. Add 1 fire token to your space and each adjacent space. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, that's out of control. I have to put down a whole ton more fire tokens. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. I get to remove the health tokens because technically, well, that guy's dead, which is good. The problem is there's so much fire here, it's out of control. That's the end of the Mythos phase. I am in a safe space, technically, so I'm going to draw my next Mythos card and see what I get here. I am able to get up to no good. Now, before I deal with this, I do have to move my track up for my madness. And that's going to hit its next threshold, meaning I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to take this. Oh man, there's so many good things for him. This guy has every single one of his powers is absolutely amazing. I'm going to raise up my Arcane Mastery, heal 1 stress for each star I count as a success, and eventually you may count any number of stars as 2 successes each. That might be pretty good. Now, of course, I'll probably never roll 1 again. Or I could be able to get an additional death with him, which might not be too bad with all the fire flying around in this place. It's out of control. And besides, he's got this thing that causes him pain and agony. Man, like I said, every one of those is so good. I think we'll take the Arcane Mastery. We'll see how it goes. Though Brawling looks pretty good. I think I like the 2 free rerolls. I'm going to take the 2 free rerolls on the Brawling. That's the deal. Okay, done. Let's see what we got. Up to no good. The professor, he asked me to help. I'm not in trouble, am I? The student holds a beaker. If you have a guilty conscience, takes 1 stress. I don't. You may take 2 stress to calm this. You may take 2 stress to calm either the grad student. Charles, grad student, gain 2 green die to extinguish fire. That's kind of funny. Or the beaker. You may discard this card to deal wounds to all labs and figures either in your space or an additional space. Each target takes wounds equal to the number of fire tokens in their space. Oh my goodness, that would probably be really good. Does it hurt me? This card deals wounds to all lab and figures in your space. So that would hurt me. So I think we'll take Charles here. He might be in charge of maybe... Oh, I have to take 2 stress though. Okay, take 2 stress. 2 stress. Not the end of the world. There we go. And that's going to go right there. Excellent. Now I have to resolve our end of turn effect, except I forgot to do this. There's so many things to remember. I did not have any tokens on this, so I am going to take 1 wound. There we go, because I hit that threshold without any tokens on this. Now I wonder if I have to put 1 on there then? If there are no tokens on this card, take 1 wound. Otherwise, remove all tokens. Yeah, so it just takes 1 turn wound. I believe that's how it works. I don't think I put it on the wound from that onto that card. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. And please do check the video for the pinned comments. My pinned comments is where I'll put a pinned comment if there's any errors I found post-launch that you can, or if somebody's noticed something in the playthrough, that would be fantastic to tell me so that other people can learn from this one as well. I have to roll 1 die and see what happens. Oh, nothing. His fire did absolutely nothing to him. That's fantastic. I'm going to discard that token. At this point of the resolve end of turns, we are able to summon Cthulhu to the board because we were able to stop the ritual. We took out 4 of those laboratories. So at that point, we're going to remove stage 1 card and put it to the side, and we are going to deal with stage 2 now. He's got 12 health. Oh, look at the dice he rolls. That's amazing. And it says here, when revealed, summon Cthulhu into your space. Each enemy in a tokened space moves 1 space towards you. Okay, lucky for us, there aren't any in any of the spaces. That's fantastic. And it says at the end of each turn, put a token in Cthulhu's space. If there's already a token there, put it in the nearest space that doesn't have one. All right, let's take advantage of that. Cthulhu comes crashing down on the board, or in the play, I should say, right there. Right in front of this guy. Look how big this thing is compared to these guys. It's absolutely awesome. I am also going to place a token at the end of turn. It's the end of turn. So I'm going to place this down. I have to put it into a space that doesn't have one because there already is one there. I'm going to place it over here in this ritual area. That's totally fine. It's time for Morgan to maybe try to pile on some damage. We're all going to move into this little teeny square here, and he's going to take 2 fire tokens with him. I could try to put out the fire, but I'm just going to maybe beat this guy up. I get to use 3 black dice, and I get 2 green dice. 1 for my sandy track and 1 for my pistol. So he's getting a little bit better as time goes on here. Let's roll these up. I got 3 successes. That's fantastic. And I take 2 madness. I could choose to re-roll this one, which I'm going to do. Hopefully we can turn this into a success. We did. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Do I do the next one as well? Do I re-roll that die? No, I think we're going to be okay with 4. 4 damage on Cthulhu is pretty good. I am going to raise my track by 2, meaning if I get 2 more of these, I'm going to reach my next threshold. For my second action, we are going to attack him, or sorry, my third action, we are going to attack him again. Let's see how we do. We got 3 successes. That's fantastic. And we got some rerolls. I have a lot of stress left, so we're going to reroll one of these dice one at a time here. We got a madness. I'm okay with that. I'm going to use another stress to reroll again. Let's see how we do. We got nothing. I'm going to use my last stress to reroll. I actually need a madness here, otherwise I'm kind of... Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4 more damage to Cthulhu. On top of that, I got 2 more madness. So Cthulhu's sitting at 6, 7, 8 damage. And I'm moving this up 2 more spaces, and this is going to fire off. And there are no cards here, so it does say that I get to heal all of my stress. So we're going to move it all the way back to here. I do have 2 fire tokens I have to deal with. I'm not too worried about it. And I get to pick a new skill here. Now, sadly, this would be a fantastic skill to keep on going with, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that up here because I eventually can get 2 free rerolls, which would be really good when I'm trying to redirect attacks from Rasputin. I am now going to have to deal with, I have to draw a Mythos card since I'm out of actions. Let's see how this goes. Draw a Mythos card. He's going to move again. Well, it's not moving yet, but each cultist moves 1 space towards you. There is a cultist out there. If you're in a space with this, I'm going to lose 1 sanity. So I'm going to lose 1 sanity. Does it say each? No, but it says you. And I'm going to summon a cultist to the red and the yellow space. When all is said and done, I spawned one in yellow and red, and this one is going to move towards me. I'm not anywhere near a safe spot, so he's going to attack. Cthulhu rolls 2 black and 2 green dice. Let's see how those go. He hit me for 1 damage. That's it. I'm going to totally use my toughness on that. I'm not too worried about it. And I have 2 fire tokens now I have to deal with. So we'll roll those and see what happens here. Oh no, I got 2 successes and 2 madness. That's kind of funny. Now I can reduce the wound tokens by 2, so I can remove 2 token damage that I took from these things. But it says here I can only lose 1 of the sanity, so I still have to take 1 of those madness that I got. It's Rasputin's turn now, and he's going to brawl him. I've got 3 attacks on this guy. Let's go get him. We'll roll up our dice and see how it goes. I got a total of 1, 2, 3 successes, and I've got no stress. That's terrible. So I just got to take it what I get. I do get 2 rerolls because of my brawling ability. I get to reroll 2 dice when attacking a target in my space, and I'm attacking Cthulhu in my space, so I'm going to reroll these 2 dice and see how it goes. I turned them all into successes because of my arcane mastery. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is enough to move him from stage 2 to stage 3. So we're going to remove our damage tokens here, and we're going to instantly put this to the side and see what this one says. When revealed, move Cthulhu to the blue gate. Each investigator in a tokened space takes 1 wound and loses 1 sanity. At the end of each turn, each investigator loses 1 sanity. I forgot his at the end of his turn. Put a token in a space. If there's already one there, put another one. So I just have to put another token out there. I missed that, so I'm going to place the token down. And I'll show you where that is on the board in just a second. Now, sadly, he's going to get spawned to the blue space now. Oh my gosh, that's so far away. And I have to run through the star guy. Evil Mean Cthulhu is running down here. Barf. I wish I could go down there that fast. And this is the token I'm placing down. That was the other one I should have done from the last turn. Now, apparently the upper part of this building is completely on fire and it's out of control. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. I'm in a safe room right now, technically. So I could rest, which might not be a bad idea. And I think I'm going to try to put out that fire. Do I even try to put out the fire? Or I just run? 1. I could get to where Cthulhu is, but the star guy would come with me, and I would take a world of hurt, and Morgan can't save me. I think Morgan needs to run first to try to get down there to help save people before this happens. Okay, so he's going to try to put out some fire here. I think that's going to be the deal, and then he's going to rest 1, 2, 3, and gain back 3 stress. I'm going to roll to try to get rid of fire, and I get +2 because I have that person with me. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes because I do have my arcane mastery that I can make any of those turn into successes. It's unbelievable how many of these stars I roll. So I was able to get rid of all 3 of these fire tokens. That's not bad. I'll take it. Rasputin has to draw a Mythos card, and we've got, he's going to move again. Each figure in a space with an undestroyed lab takes 1 wound. Nope, there's none of those. Also, each investigator in the guilty conscience takes 2 stress. Nope. For each stress they cannot take. Nope, 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 and nope. Fantastic. Lab accident was a great card right now. I do have to take 1 sanity because of the card that Cthulhu has out right now. Its stage 3 card does state at the end of each turn, each investigator loses 1 sanity. And that's going to be kind of bad and kind of good at the same time. Funny enough, it really doesn't help him all that much. He's going to gain 1 more. I am going to do the 2 free rerolls for my protector ability and see how that helps me out. Funny enough, Rasputin is in a safe spot. He gets to draw a card. It says Monkey Paw. Painted glyphs on the floor is what is going on here. If you have the monkey as a companion, take 2 wounds and discard the monkey. Oh no, I do. You may claim the monkey paw or discard. Oh, barf. Take 2 wounds and discard the monkey. Okay. Does that all? If you have the monkey as a companion, you take 2 wounds to discard the monkey. That's hilarious. You may claim the monkey paw or discard it to heal all your health. So I'm going to take 2 damage because of this monkeys right here, and I have to discard it. That's hilarious because I didn't like seeing it. 1, 2. I am going to take 2 damage, which actually is going to help me out here. It goes right there on my card down here. Now I can either A, claim the monkey paw, which each elder sign may count as both a success and this symbol and cannot be traded, or I can heal all my health. I'm just going to heal all my health because I'm already doing pretty good with those elder signs. So I'm going to go back to full health, totally fine. I've already got this going on. Now at this point, that's when I should have done the sanity, as this is the end of turn. I did a little bit early. I forgot about the investigate or fight part of the turn. At this point, we're going to move this forward, and I have to shuffle up these cards. Now, there is one thing I forgot that I probably put a subtitle in at some point, and I'm just realizing it now. Right here, when the Elder One advances, place 1 fire token in each space that has a cultist and no fire. I haven't been doing that, and I don't think it would have made too big of a deal. I am going to put this one down, though, in the area where a cultist is without fire that's there at this present time. As for the other ones, I don't know where they would have been when those things would have triggered. Not the end of the world. But we're almost, we're getting closer. I got to try to take this guy out. I don't know. I really got to get down there and start fighting him. From where he is, he can move 1, 2, 3 to right here to where Cthulhu is. I don't think that's a good idea. He's going to move to here, though, and he's going to take this cultist with him. That way he's got all these guys he has to deal with. That's his first action. His second action is I might just try to take this guy out. These cultists aren't going to do anything to me. But if I can take this guy out, Rasputin can get down here and start punching this guy. And from where I am, I can use my protector place from 1 space away. So we're going to be okay. I am going to gather up 4 fire tokens, though, on the way to this. Oh, no, I get 3. I get 3 from this space over here. I do not take this one because he is in that space. He didn't actually move out of it yet to claim that fire token. But let's see what I can do to this guy. Here's my dice pool. I've reached 2 thresholds, giving me 2 more green dice, or give me an extra green dice, and I need to get a total of 7 on this guy. Let's see how we do. I got 1, 2, oh my gosh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is sanity. I'm going to use 1 of my stress to re-roll this. I just don't really think, I don't want any more of the sanity anymore. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's so good. He took 5 damage. Let's put that out there. I love putting 5 damage on a guy. All right, we're going to hit him again. This is my 3rd action here, and we'll see what we do about it. We were able to get 1, 2, 3 successes. I only need, this was a blanco, I think, or no, I think it was a star, but that's not going to matter. It's not going to do anything. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 2 successes, so I'm going to keep these 2. But I'm going to re-roll this with my stress. Hopefully we can get the madness off the board. We did. So we're still going to take 2, and my madness is going to go up 1, or my sanity, but that's enough to take the star spawn out because I've got my 2 successes. We're going to place him off the board again. That's super good. Oh my gosh, that was a great turn for him. Can't get any better than that. I'm going to draw my Mythos card and see what I found. Each fire vampire moves 1 space towards you and places a fire token on the space. Otherwise, summon a fire vampire in this area. Oh, barf. All right, I didn't want him. He's going to go right there. And this, again, could potentially move this over time. Now that the Mythos phase is over, I'm going to get attacked by all that, which is kind of funny. I was actually planning these guys I had no issue with. Now this guy can be a problem. The fire vampire is going to attack me with a green and 2 black, and it does say when it attacks, place first place a fire token in its space. So we're going to put another fire token there. This whole building is on fire. It's out of control. We're going to roll up his dice, see how he does. He got 2 hits and 1 madness. My defender ability, toughness ability, will be able to soak all of that up, meaning he did nothing. Now, the cultists are going to attack, and there is absolutely no way a cultist can damage me. I can defend 2 hits, and there is no madness anywhere on these dice. The cultists aren't even going to attack because they can't hurt me. Now that that's done, I'm going to go resolve the end of turn. I'm going to roll for the fire and see how badly it hurts me. 2 hits, not a big deal. I can block all that with my defender, my toughness ability. Toughness seems to be my favorite ability of all time. I don't take damage. It's so good. That's the end of that part, though I do have to take 1 sanity damage because of Cthulhu's end of turn ability. We're going to be coming down to the wire on this one. Both of us are going to take a sanity damage. It's time for Rasputin to make his big move. He's going to move 1, 2, 3 to right here, and he's going to start taking on the Cthulhu guy. But look at all this that's coming with him. All of this is in his square, and you know what? That's totally fine because from where I am, I can defend that. He is going to collect 5 fire tokens as he runs down to this level. Oh my goodness, that's out of control. And I'm not too worried because I can probably defend a lot of this damage here. It's the fire I'm really worried about for him. We'll roll 5 dice and see how we do. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, 1 madness, and I can use a reroll. I'm going to spend 1 of my stress, bringing me down to 3 stress. Let's see how it goes here. And I got another success, so that's 5 damage on this guy. That's awesome. I'll take it. We'll put 3, 4, 5 right here. Now I need to figure out how much madness. I'm taking 1. All right, let's see how that does. He's going to move this up 1, meaning I get to choose another thing. I'm going to choose this one. When you attack figures in your space, deal the full wounds to each target. That's awesome. Down here, I do have 2 wounds on this card, so I get to discard them and heal 1 stress per token resolved. So I'm going to gain back all of my stress. That's awesome. Here's my 5 fire tokens. I'm super worried about those. For my third action, we're going to brawl again, but now I get 1 extra green die, 1 for brawler and 2 for my tracks that I'm running up, and see how it goes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes plus 2 madness. We're going to re-roll those madness because I don't want any of that happening. On top of that, remember my brawler is now able to do damage to each target in the square. So I've already killed everything in the square except for Cthulhu. We have 2 of these. I want to get rid of those, so I'm going to use 1 stress to re-roll this die right here. Good, that's fantastic. And I'll re-roll this one as well. There's no way I can actually kill Cthulhu with these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, he has 12 health. So I can't kill him. I just want to get rid of this madness. Oh, I got another success. That's even better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more damage. He's at 10. Woo! Take that, little Cthulhu dude. I've got 10 damage on him. I'm super pumped. That's the end of his turn. And all those damage did hit all of these guys in the square as well. So he is dead. And all of these cultists are dead as well. They don't have anything on us. That guy's awesome. Rasputin is amazing. That's the end of our turn. I do have to draw a Mythos card now and see what we have found. We have found ourselves, what's this? Each Byakhee moves directly into your space. Summon a Byakhee in red. So there is 1 on the board, so we'll take care of that. The Byakhee that's on the board is going to fly all the way over here, and I'm going to summon another one up here in the red spawn zone. I'm obviously not in a space safe spot, so these 2 are going to attack Rasputin, and I am going to use Protector on both of those attacks. The Byakhee rolls 2 green and a black. Let's see how he does. He got 1 damage. That's not going to do anything to me. I have no problem with that. Now Cthulhu is only going to roll 1 green die, it looks like. It's not 1 green die. That's my fault. It's right. You get all the other dice too. This is what he adds these dice to the actual attack. So 1, 2 green was his original attack with 2 black. So he's now going to roll 3 green and 2 black and see how he does. And I'll be defending this. We'll see how much I can actually take here. So he's doing 3 damage and 1 sanity. I am able to, with my Protector ability, have 2 free rerolls when being attacked by a redirected attack. So I'm going to reroll this one and turn it hopefully into a nothing. Nope, it stayed the same. So I'm going to reroll it again. And we turned it into a success. So I am going to take 1 damage on Morgan because I'm able to block 1 sanity and 2 damage because of my toughness ability. Now I'm going to move up my stress because of Cthulhu's end of turn ability, and I still have to do this fire damage as well. He's going to gain another threshold. I don't have a card on here, so I get to heal all of my stress yet again, and I think that's it. I get to pick something. I guess I will, what is it worth here to do? Maybe after redirecting all your attack damage, I heal my stress? We'll give it a shot. I don't think it's really going to matter, because if every time I hit that, I'm probably going to be redoing my stress. Oh, I'll get a free rerun. I'll give a free run. What the heck? That doesn't hurt anything, does it? And I think at this, I'm actually going to use my medicine, too. I'm going to use that. Well, I have to use it at the beginning of my turn. I can't just use, or I can use it anytime during my turn, I think, so I'm just going to hold it right there. I could be wrong about that. I think you can use it anytime, as long as you're not rolling a die, but that's okay. I'll save it till my turn. I do have to do all the fire damage, and that I don't think I can gain a redirect on, because it has to do with being attacked. This could potentially kill Rasputin. Let's see how it goes here. 2, 3 successes, and 2 madness. Good news, it didn't kill him. 1, 2, 3 successes, or 3 damage and 2 madness. He does hit another threshold. I'm just going to do this, heal all my stress. Why not? That's not the end of the world. I get to get rid of all 5 of these, which is really, oh no, I got a better plan. 1, 2, he gets 1, 2, 3, so let's take that. I'm going to do this one, so I get more deaths. Now I think about it, that's not really going to help me. Dying doesn't seem to be something I'm worried about. It's this. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to heal all my, what do you call it, successes, or my, stress instead. At this point, I really wish that I could do Rasputin again, but I can't. I'm going to have to move this guy in. He's just going to have to move right in. He has to move in here, and he has to try to take out Cthulhu so we can get off that one that's making us lose insanity. But of course, the next one could be even worse. When you're getting near death, your dice pool becomes pretty out of control. Let's see how I do against him. I can't hit, okay, this I need to re-roll. I'm going to use my stress to re-roll that die. I've got enough successes to kill this guy, but we got to get there we go. We got that madness out of there. 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's enough to clear this stage. We're going to get rid of that card. But of course, I have to keep them available so I know how much dice I'm adding to this every turn we fight him. So those are over to the side, but I have to put out my final stage card now. And this one states, when revealed, move Cthulhu to the starting space. Each investigator must discard all items and companion cards. They may take 1 wound for each card they want to keep. Well, I don't think I want to keep anything. If you need to place a Ryla token on the board but cannot, each investigator loses 2 sanity. Okay, the good news is we got rid of that sanity thing, but he's going to gain an, oh my gosh, he gains a couple dice here. That's bad news. Okay, we get to also have to remove all of this damage. It doesn't accumulate, obviously, and you don't get to carry any over when you go to the next card. Cthulhu is fleeing the building. He is over here. I have to try to chase him down. I'm going to use him to move 1, 2, 3 to here, I think. I think that'll be the best plan. This is coming with me to here, totally fine. And that's the end of his turn. He moved in here, then he attacked, and then he moved over there. Wait a minute, I have 1 free run action each turn. So I'm going to use the free run, 1, 2, 3, 4, to move over to here. I got a better plan. And this way, again, I can start working on Cthulhu. Hopefully we can take him down. Because at this point, I've moved 1, attacked, used my free run to there, and now I'm attacking again. And I'm going to be tricky. I am going to take 1 wound. It says here, you may take 1 wound for each card they wish to keep. I wish to keep this one. I'm going to take a wound. That wound then is going to bring me down to my last possible wound. But then I'm going to use this to heal all of my damage. That's what I'm going to do. So now I have, and by the way, I got rid of everything. I didn't keep anything on anybody except for that 1 medical kit. That way I could heal myself if I needed to. I did need to. We're going to attack him with all these dice then. I get 1, 2, 3, and then I get 1, 2, 3 from my track. I don't get my pistol anymore. I got rid of that. Let's see how we do. Oh, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't get to these. I need to re-roll that, so we're going to use 1 of our stress to re-roll this die. I do not want to see madness on these dice right now. Oh no, a success and a madness. Oh, that could be so good. But I don't want to see that. I need to keep my guy alive. We're going to re-roll this again. Let's see how it goes. Okay, a blank. A blank is fine. I did 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is fine. I'll put that right up here. I think that might be enough. If I can get Rasputin in there, I think we'll be okay. That's the end of his turn. We have to draw a Mythos card now and see what we have found. Star Spawn. Move the Star Spawn 2 spaces towards you. Then each investigator in its space loses 1 sanity. Summon the Star Spawn to red. Oh, that's fantastic. He can go to red and hang out in red all day long. because red is right up here. Have fun with the red. That's the end of that. I do need to go to my fight step now because, of course, I'm in the space with Cthulhu and I'm also in the space with the Byakhee. Byakhee will attack first, and it hit me for 2. I can soak that with my toughness. It's not going to take me. I'm not going to take any damage from that. Now we have to go to Cthulhu. Cthulhu is going to be rolling himself 1, 2, 3, 4 dice here, 1 extra green one, and then he's rolling a black and a green one. Oh my goodness, he's rolling all these dice. If he gets enough, I can't have him get any madness. This is going to be really bad. Okay, he got 1 madness. I could re-roll that. Look at all those hits. Oh no, that's probably going to kill me. I can soak up 2 damage and I can soak up 1 madness, meaning I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 damage from him. Oofda. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Well, I'm guessing I have to take it. That's the deal. All right, I'm going to take 4 damage from this. I could start re-rolling those. Let's do that. I'm going to re-roll the green ones. The green ones don't have madness symbols on them, so I can re-roll these and hopefully it'll be better. Okay, that's better. Re-roll this one as well, and that's the end of my stress. Let's see how this goes. Oh, no, that's not going to help. Okay. Oh, that did help. That's not going to do anything. Now I only took 2 damage. 2 is so much better. Okay. Oh, so much better. All right, that's the end of his turn. That's the mythos and the attack. All that is done. So the only thing left is to resolve our end of turn. And I ran through 1 space with fire. It's not even worth rolling because I can soak up the damage from that fire. That's the end of Morgan's turn. It's now Rasputin's turn. 1, 2, 3 for a move action. Then he's going to use another move to get in there. So that's 2 of his actions. So his last action now is he's going to attack with his ability. Hopefully it's enough to do something. Hopefully we can take him down. We'll see how it goes. He sadly isn't going to have enough dice to take him down. But, we'll get pretty close, hopefully. I've got my 6 dice. Let's see how it goes. I got a lot of great hits here. 1, 2, 3 hits. And 2 madness. Okay, let's start rolling these madness numbers here because these are bad news because our guys are so close to death here. Oh boy, we're going to re-roll that one again and see how it goes. Oh no, we only did 3 damage to him. All right, we'll take the 3 and put it right here. He's at 7 health. That's the end. He can't do anything else because those were his 2 attacks. Now, the sad thing is I have to draw a mythos card, but before I do, I failed to realize again that I got to the 3, so I have to shuffle those up. And on top of that, I think that's it. The only thing I had to do is put down a token in any space with a cultist that doesn't have fire, and that's not going to happen. So we do have to move our track 1 more up. It's on the red area, but that's not really our big concern. Monsters in the labs. Each fire, vampire, and Byakhee move 1 space towards you. Summon vampire in yellow and a Byakhee in blue. This is going to move 1 space towards us. I'm going to summon a fire vampire in yellow, and we already have a Byakhee over here, so I can't summon another one. This I then have to place next to my guy over here, which is kind of funny. Moving into the attack step, the Byakhee attacks first. I'm going to redirect that at Morgan. Morgan is going to take nothing. He can soak all of that. Okay, now comes the interesting part. I'm going to have Cthulhu attack Rasputin. I'm going to let him get attacked. I've got a plan. He's going to get attacked with a whole ton of dice. He's attacked with, I think, 4 black dice. 3 black dice. And 1, 2, 3, 4 green dice. And this is all going at Rasputin. I'm totally fine with this. He got absolutely demolished. But he is going to take 1 madness. Getting absolutely demolished is totally fine. He died from wounds. His unkillable kicks in. He's going to go back to full health. This is going to kick in because he hits this threshold right here. This should be at 5. So I get to heal all of my stress back to full. I get to pick something else. I think I'm going to, I forgot about this part. I should be healing stress. I'm going to boost that all the way up. This is going to be a now or never because, again, if I die from wounds, that's not going to happen. I'm going to die from sanity if anything happens. So we're going to see how this goes. That's the end of the fighting. We now have to resolve end of turn. He technically does have a fire token on him because he would have moved through fire. So we're going to have to roll that up and see how it goes here. I am going to, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm not going to take that. We're going to re-roll that. We cannot take madness on these. There's no way. Okay, I can take 1 damage. That's fine. I'll take a wound. That's totally fine. Get that fire token out of here. I can't take madness or I die. It's now Morgan's turn. He's just going to punch him 3 times. Let's see how it goes. I got a total of 1 success. All right, I got one success. I did 1 damage. I don't have any stress, so I can't re-roll any of these dice. My second attack against Cthulhu, I got 1 and a madness. That madness is probably going to help us. The madness will move this up 1, giving us the ability to, I guess, this. That's what I should have done the last time, so I could have gotten my stress back. This is going to fire off, which is terrible. So that means I've got to put a vampire spawn in yellow and move my Bayaki 1 space towards me. Totally fine. None of those are actually going to make it to our characters because we're at the exit point here. So that does fire off though. I get to roll a ton of dice my last attack here. But that's it. I don't have any stress because I'm not resolving any defense, and this did not help me heal my stress because I had a card up here. Barf. All right, last attack. Let's see how it goes here. I got a total of 1, 2, 3 hits, but he is going to die from madness. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm 1 away from killing him. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. So that's it. That's how that goes. He's going to take the madness because I can't get rid of it. And with that last madness, he is going to die. He is off the board and dead. If you lose any of your characters before Cthulhu is spawned onto the board, the game is over. But since the old one is on the board, the game is not over. Rasputin could win this for us. Of course, I do have to draw a Mythos card and continue on here. Astral Promise, move the nearest cultist to your space and choose 1. Add a token to your space if there's already there, or lose 2 sanity. Well, I'm going to put 1 there because I'm not losing any sanity. That's not going to help me. So we're going to move a cultist to the board and put 1 of these tokens out next to me. This is where we sit. We have a lot of guys coming our way. All he has to do is punch Cthulhu 1 more time and we're going to win. There isn't any end of resolve effects. I don't think there's anything else that can really help poor Mr. Cthulhu here. There isn't an attack step because the guy who's supposed to attack is dead. So that's it. There's nothing end of things to resolve, so we're just going to fight. Rasputin's coming in with his brawler. And of course, the problem is I just realized with this roll, I could have re-rolled 2 of these, I think, with my defender. Nope, it does not. It only works when it comes to redirecting, I believe. So it wouldn't have mattered. I still had to take the 2 sanity. I actually only had to take 1, which was enough to kill me from the last attack. But he gets to roll. I think he gets to roll more than this. He gets to roll 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets to roll 5 dice. Ooh, that's pretty good. All right, here comes the big brawl. Roar! Does he did at least 1 damage? I did 1 damage. That's enough to kill him. Now I'm going to take the mad sanity too, but I'm actually going to re-roll that with my stress. Let's roll that up, see what I get instead. There we go. Look, I even survived. I was able to take down Cthulhu. I did at least 2, 3. Oh, I did 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are actually all worth 2. I forgot about that. I might have missed that too when I did this. I forgot that these were starting to do 2 damage. Might have gone even faster, but we did take him down. So there you have it. That was Cthulhu Death May Die. We were able to take down this old one. We were able to take down Cthulhu himself, the man, the myth, the legend. He is totally taken down because of Rasputin's ability to regen from death, and because Morgan is pretty much the greatest defender of all time. I am a huge fan of our 2 characters. They work really well together, and there are unbelievably astronomical amount of combinations of characters you can play. I do want to mention if you do play solo, you do have to use 2 characters, so that's why we're using Rasputin and Morgan. I honestly just picked them because I thought their characters looked pretty cool, considering he's got fire all over him, and he's going to be in a fire area. That was absolutely awesome. This was a super cool scenario, and like I said, there's so many other scenarios, and they all play completely different, and there are different old ones that you can bring in that are going to make everything completely different as well. This game is a blast. I never have a sad time playing this game. This game is always super fun. It always gets kind of tense near the end. If you notice, we were 1 sanity away from dying. If I did not roll at least enough hits to kill this guy, Rasputin would have died. That would be the end of the game. They would have won. Just right on the brink of death. That's so cool. Now, of course, as you're playing this and moving real fast, there may be a few things you may make a few mistakes, but of course, board games are all about having fun and enjoying them, and that's all that matters. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, my Patreon link will also be found in the description of this video. Those that have already part of the Patreon are located here on the screen. Thank you so much for your support. Those that do join the Patreon are able to help me decide what games we play, what games we actually work on painting. Sadly, I did not paint any of these. These are painted by Bill, and I will put a link to his information in the description of this video as well if you're interested in having your miniatures painted as well as these are, which is absolutely astronomically gorgeous. Super good. I would like to thank Colin again from the One Stop Co-op Shop for letting me borrow his copy of this game, and I'm excited for the future of Cthulhu Death May Die. The Kickstarter is still running right now, so please feel free to take a look at it. The link to that will also be in the description of this video. So thank you again so much for watching, and if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the table.